All right, my chess champions, welcome back to Road to 2000. Let's jump into a game. All right, opponent is about 1600. We are currently about 1650. I would guess my true actual strength is probably like 1700. We've been bobbling because I took a break, so the ratings matter more in the first few games. So if I lose this game, I lose 50 points of rating. A normal game, you'd lose 8, so it's going to take a while for things to level out. But that's okay. I'm kind of just getting back into it, brushing off the dust, as it were. My goal with today's video, with this episode in particular, is to try to get it under I want to get it to like a 20-minute episode. So I'm going to talk less this one and try to see how quick and streamlined I can make this one. As usual, we're fighting for the center and developing our pieces here. And this is the Sicilian defense. I believe this is called the Grand Prix attack. This is also the second video I'm recording today, which I don't normally do. So we'll see how it goes. Question to you guys, can I back up here? So normally when they push you, they try to kick you like this. It's often good to maintain this pin on the queen. Here you can't do it though because they push, you go here, and then they trap your bishop. So we have to just trade here. This looks pretty good. Hitting the queen, threatening a fork. So the queen, I think, has to go all the way back. And white doesn't have an easy way to kick this knight. So let's go knight out. Next two priorities are develop the knight, develop the bishop, probably castle kingside, unless white starts going like real crazy, and then maybe we won't castle that way. We'll see. So normally to develop this bishop in the Sicilian defense, you're either going to fianchetto, which is kind of what's called the dragon variation, or you're going to play, I think what's considered more like the classical variation this way. I've played both. Both are good. So if you guys have any questions on the game, or if there's anything you would have done differently, just comment down below. Let me know. So this move maybe prepares to kick the knight, or they're obviously threatening to trade. If we let them take and we just recapture, we do have doubled pawns, which is usually not ideal. But I can maybe just push, and we'd have like a little unit there. I feel like that's good. I don't know. You could also take here and then they like develop. Okay, now that they're kicking us, well, we could come back too. I need to watch out for this check as well. I guess I can block. It's okay. I'm going to come back. I feel like their knight's maybe not super well placed now. It does defend this pawn, which is kind of good for white. But now it's awkward for white to develop this bishop. So they maybe have to like do this, and then if they do that, then their king side is no longer going to be safe to castle to, because remember guys, you want to have a little wall, a little shield of pawns to castle behind. So white's probably going to have to castle king side if they had moved this pawn. But it looks like they're preparing to get the bishop out and then maybe castle king side still. But notice how I still have my nice little shield in the corner. So they are kind of threatening knight f5. So like if I go bishop here, they go knight here, and this pawn is no longer defended. I guess I could castle, they could take my bishop. Alternatively, I could fianchetto, so I could go here and then fianchetto the bishop. And playing g6 would prevent this move. The thing is, I don't always like to fianchetto this bishop because I often find when they push this pawn that, I don't know, my position tends to kind of become much less safe and secure. So we could also take. It kind of helps them develop, but it's an option. Let's try fianchettoing this game. I'm not sure if this is the best or not. Let me know down in the comments if you had different ideas. If you guys are enjoying the videos, make sure to subscribe and turn on those notifications. Turn on the bell so that you guys are notified when new episodes drop. Okay, continuing the development. We're almost done with the chores, so we've got all the pieces out. We've fought for the center. We're ready now to castle, and then next step is going to be to get the queen somewhere off the back rank, and then move the rooks to files that we think are going to open up later in the game. So same thing every game. You guys are going to notice this pattern. I'm really trying to hammer it in your head that it's the same fundamentals every game. The details will change of how you do it depending on the opening and depending on the exact position, but yeah, so this is what often becomes a little dicey in my experience, but so far I'm not too worried. So we could try this central break. My hesitation to do it is that I'm still not fully developed, so I'd like to get the queen up and then maybe get some rooks developed. But the thing is, if I wait to play this move, that white can play c4, and then they'll have a double clamp on this square so that I can never play this pawn push. Because yeah, if I play and takes, this pawn becomes a little bit weak, as well as this one, although the bishop defends it. But the moment I push this pawn is no longer supported. I think let's go for it, though. So if white takes, which pawn do you guys want to recapture with? What do you think? Oh, and the reason I didn't, let me go back a step. The reason I didn't take here is white can take with the knight, and they have a lot of pressure here. So at some point, the queen might swing in, and it looks pretty sketchy. So I think it's probably better to take with the H pawn in this position. I'm going to go ahead and take. I think the considerations are generally, if you're worried about a queen and rook infiltrating this file, then you might not want to take with the H pawn. Whereas if you're worried about some later infiltrations on this diagonal by either the queen or the bishop, then you want to keep this pawn here. So those are kind of some considerations. So white continues their development, pinning my knight to my queen, which I probably want to get out of this pin by going queen d6. So let's play that. Also, guys, if there's anything you want to see more of on my journey on my journey to 2000 for the first time ever, whether you want to see more puzzles or more opening stuff or anything in general you want to see videos on, let me know down in the comments. Okay, so white's threat. They're double attacking these two pawns. If I play a move like b6, then I think they can take, I recapture, and then they win my pawn here in the end. So I think they'd be going up a pawn if I played this. Or a similar move, like if I did rook b8, same problem. So I think I might have to take. Yeah, taking looks good. Let's take. So now the difference is if they like take here, we get an in-between move. So I think they have to recapture, and then we have time to develop or protect this pawn somehow. So if they recapture, what do we play? Ooh, I don't know if I like my position anymore, because after a rook comes here, where do I put my queen? I guess I can go queen c7. You don't want to go here because then you're walking back into the pin. I probably don't want to go here because queen trade and then I have doubled pawns and all my pawns are a mess. So yeah, after they take, we're going to defend this pawn somehow. They're probably going to go rook here. We go queen c7. And then we'd like to get maybe this rook on the c file, maybe this rook on the e file, or the d file. Only problem with d file right now is the knight is pinned if we go there. I'm not sure why white is thinking so long. I guess they could take with the knight, but then that would help me out, I feel like, because this knight is kind of my problem piece. It's kind of this loose end that I have to keep worrying about. Actually, I just realized after takes, if they come here, I can't go here because they're double attacking this. Okay, interesting. They go there. Ooh, so yeah, they're trying to utilize this threat. So I have two issues here. This pawn is hanging, and once this pawn moves, I'm going to kind of be forced to move my queen away from the protection of this knight. If I take, rook takes, and my queen doesn't have a good square to go to. I could maybe move the knight. They would win this pawn though, but maybe here. But then after the bishop backs up, this knight has like no prospects. So about like knight here. A little more active maybe. Oh no, that's really bad. So yeah, knight here, they take, and then the knight's pinned by the rook, and they're winning it. This is too sketchy. Loses a pawn, and my king gets busted. Okay, I'm going to go knight back, hitting the bishop. So I think bishop probably steps back. They could play like in-between move here. And so when bishop steps back, I think probably I take, and then I go here. And the downside is my knight is not on a good square, but I think this solves my issues temporarily. Oh, that is a good move. I forgot about that. Ooh, that's nasty. So hitting the queen and hitting this pawn, and I can't really stay defending this because of that. Although they aren't really hitting this because if they take, then I take. So I do get one turn to square myself away here. So let's play queen c7. I really don't like my position here, especially my king safety. So I can't push this pawn. The pawn is pinned by the queen. And I don't have a pawn here. So like if I did at some point push this, like my king just feels very exposed long term. So yeah, this is kind of the problem with the fianchettoed king side. in these types of openings that I've yet to remedy. So if you're higher rated than me and you know what I did wrong here and can instruct me, let us know down in the comments. But yeah, I do tend to struggle with this when I fianchetto the bishop in Sicilian defense, which is why I usually put the bishop here instead. Okay, they do give me a moment to breathe here, so we need to defend this pawn. Yeah, let's just play pawn b6, keep it simple. I don't like that this diagonal is going to be owned by white forever if they do this, but it's better to just remove any loose ends in my position. So this just, everything's connected now. And next priorities are going to be to bring the rooks into the game. Although I might need to keep this rook here. White has a lot of pressure on this pawn. So I have my queen and my rook currently, and I just need to keep an eye on it. Makes sense. So I wish I could put a rook here. I can't because of the bishop. So maybe rook c8, adding extra defense to this knight. And maybe someday I want to play c4. It'd be great if I could someday advance this pawn so then this bishop has more scope. I can maybe like come here at some point. And pushing this pawn might be part of the plan to do that. So let's go rook c8, rook a c8. I just realized white can antagonize me, but that's okay. I can just move back. So yeah, you can see white has a much stronger position here in my opinion. Why don't you guys pause and try to evaluate why? What are the differences between specifically like my pieces in terms of piece activity and white's position, as well as king safety? So white has a lot of pieces pointed at my king, which is generally very strong. Additionally, this bishop is much more active, controlling a square I really want to put a rook on. This bishop has a lot of scope, even though there's not too much over on that side of the board on that diagonal at the moment. Whereas my pieces, this bishop might be good eventually, but right now it's staring at this pawn. This knight has no scope. It's just like defending this pawn, which maybe makes me think I should maybe try to do like some sort of reroute or something. And my king is quite sketch in my opinion because this pawn is pinned. So someone could take this pawn at some moment. My knight is also trapped in, which I forgot to mention. So overall, my pieces are quite passive, whereas white's are quite active. And white has a lot of pieces pointed at my king, whereas I have basically no pieces pointed at the white king. So, at first glance, even though we're even in material, someone might be like, oh, it's an even game. But I think if you like compare piece for piece, like if you compare this bishop versus this bishop, you compare this knight versus this knight, and you like go down the line and you realize like, oh, actually there's a big difference between who's who. My opponent's taking a really long time on this move, and I'm not sure why. I feel like they're kind of letting off the pressure. Offering the trade, I feel like this is good for me because this knight was like useless. It does open their diagonal, but I mean they can take this knight if they want. This bishop has a lot of scope. Ooh, I could play kind of sneaky. What if I go like queen e7? If they move the knight, like let's say they take, because this bishop is really killing me. It's kind of sketch to walk into an X-ray attack like this, but I don't think white has any good knight jumps, although I do need to be careful. And I just realized they're adding extra heat on this pawn too if I go that way. Or if I don't take this right away. I think this might guarantee that I can get this bishop though. Because like if they try to like defend, then I'm going to win a piece. Like they don't have enough firepower. So I think they like have to take right away. And then I take... Oh, and then they're losing the knight. They might have blundered. All right, I'm going to play it. Maybe I missed something. But I might be winning material here. This really goes against my like instinct. You almost never want to walk into a discovered attack like this. Oh, I forgot they'd be attacking the rook. All right, well... Honestly, though, might still kind of be good for me. Oh, no. Okay, I can't take with the rook because this guy would fall. So king or bishop, which do we recapture with? Let's take with the bishop. Maybe at some point I'll come here. Okay, they take, we recapture. So yeah, they, oh no, I forgot about this. Dang it. All right, we'll only move. Oh, and then I get mated. GG, checkmate. Man, all right. How quickly the cookie crumbled there. If you enjoyed that, guys, drop a like on the video. We're going to do a quick game review to see where it all went wrong.
How most games are decided. Let's review so you can come out ahead next time.
Okay, yeah, the last few games I've lost, they've all said I've been losing on the middle game tactics, so let's see.
You missed an opportunity to prepare a bishop for development.
Yeah, so you could go
the knight toward the center and prepares the d4 pawn push.
You could prepare to fianchetto here. That's an option as well.
You missed an opportunity to strike at the center with a pawn. You are threatening to win material through a tactic? This offers an equal trade of pieces. You had a chance to play something better. This is not the right idea. You take back.
So according to this, it's still pretty even. White has a slight advantage.
You missed an opportunity to create a pawn chain.
Ooh, yeah, pushing the pawn there. That might have been better. Well, I mean, clearly it is because the computer says, but in retrospect, I guess there's not really a hurry. Like, there's not a hurry to get out of this pin. White's not ready to like jump in and double attack it or anything. So yeah, this push, I think that might have been necessary to get like a little extra space in the center. And if they take, we recapture, maybe recapture this way. And then later on, like break this down, if that makes sense. So like here takes, we take, and then later on we break. Okay.
You only one move worked there, and this wasn't it. You allowed the opponent to win a queen through an eventual fork.
Wow, really?
You allowed the opponent to win a queen through an eventual fork.
Here. Knight takes e4. Ooh. Nasty. Double attacking. So they just want a bishop there. Yeah, okay. Anyways. So yeah, I think pushing was probably better. That wasn't on my radar. So I got to keep that move in mind for the future. But I guess if I push, like, don't they just win this pawn though? So let's see. Well, maybe this is sometimes this can be bad for white after here, and then sometimes the queen can get stuck on this side of the board and is just like out of play. So I wonder if that's kind of the dynamic there. Okay, big blunder, they say. So yeah, I mean, instinctually it felt wrong. I don't know why I just kind of like overlooked that after they capture, their knight would be hitting my rook. And what do they want? They wanted knight e7? Bizarre. Oh, well, yeah, because I'm getting mated. So... all right, GG. We're still getting worked right now. I think the last few games I've played, so I played like 3 games of 15-10, and I feel like I've been getting disadvantages out of the opening. So, you know, I've missed some tactics and stuff as well. But in general, I think every game I've kind of had a disadvantage coming out of the opening, which, you know, that just makes it harder to win. So we'll see what I can do about that. Maybe I'll start watching some more YouTube videos, and hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I hope to see you in the next one. Thanks a lot.